Go ahead and confirm that you have everything you need. You have your markers. You have a permanent marker. There's one marker at each table. I don't know where all the permanent markers are, but that's all I have left. So you have to share. Okay. And then we have scissors. You have scissors. You have a roll of tape, transparent tape, and you have a ruler. All supplies are in that roundabout by the door, so grab what you need if you don't have it. We have our packet that has the nail art that we've worked on, okay? And if you will turn to the page that has this here with the measurement of the nails. Now, I had accidentally did the diagramming on the back, so we're going to have to squeeze in today's work under this page here, which will work, but my apologies for forgetting about that. So turn to this page here, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over a few things that are important to know and understand with nail tips, with press-ons, and things of the sort, okay? So the measurement is super important. You're going to today start measuring your nail tips, and you're going to finish them tomorrow. And then we're going to finish, Wednesday, tomorrow, finish your, by Friday, your chart, your sizing chart is due. Okay. So if you've got your draft and it's done, you can start on your final. Make sure it matches your logo. You're going to turn in your business card on Friday. You're going to turn your business card, your logo sticker, and your sizing chart. And it needs to be matchy-matchy. Okay? All right. So here we have a chart. And in this chart, we have the size. Difficult to see on your page, but this line here, oh, well, I guess we can start by putting our title in, right? So this is going to be our nail length. Or nail length, depending on how tall or how long or how short our client wants their nails. The nail length is determined not by you, but by the client, right? Now, you have to understand that during your consultation, when you're talking with your client, when they first sit down or you're at the reception or wherever you have in your salon that you do your consultation, you have to ask your client. You have to know what do they work, and if they work, what job description do they have. If there's someone that does a lot of typing, the long booger picker nails might get in the way, and that might not be the right fit for your client. If it's a chef, they're not allowed to have nails. Why? The bacteria underneath the nails, that's nasty, right? When's the last time you cleaned underneath your nails? I hear crickets, right? Don't you scratch your butt sometimes? Don't you pick your booger sometimes? If you don't, then your nose is nasty and you need to, right? So after you pick your nose, do you clean the underneath of your fingernails? Exactly. Lots of bacteria, just like she said. Okay? When's the last time you cleaned your belly button? Ew. Yes, you have to clean your belly button. What? After you shower, okay, and you're all wrinkly from all the moisture, get a Q-tip and clean your belly button. Yes, that thing, yes, you clean your belly button. Okay? All right. Yes, you have to clean your belly button. Wait, Prince, you didn't know that. Yes, clean your belly button. Clean underneath the nails. Clients don't always clean under the nails. Okay, so yes, chefs can't. They can't. If they're working the food industry, they can't have nails. Definitely not the booger pickers. If you're a nurse, can you have nails? You're picking up. You're doing surgery. The nail's going to tear the glove. You cannot have nails. If you are at-home mom with 9 kids and do a bunch of laundry and dishes, can you have long booger picker nails? You can if you want, but do you typically? It'll break off, yeah. And all the water you're washing dishes and you have little babies, you poke them, you hurt them. You can't do that. You change diaper, hello, they're wiggling around. It's a poopy diaper, right? You're gonna get on your nails. So depending on the client and what job they have, sometimes they can or can't have certain designs. If it's a nurse and then they're going on a weekend or the holidays or wedding, yes, they can, but typically they'll come back and say, okay, take them off. Okay, so The nail length is determined by the client. Once you get to know your client and you know what on their consultation form when they fill out what they do, you can spark that conversation because sometimes they know and sometimes they don't know. Younger people don't know, just like you did. Click belly button, okay? So you have to educate your people. When you talk to people about length, okay, client comes in, they didn't go to cosmetology school, so they don't know what a length is. To them, short is this, like this, big. And to you, short is like this, right? So you have to educate them. And so sometimes when you verbally tell them, oh, what length do you want? Short? Okay. And you like chop it all off, they're like, no, that's too short. You're like, but that's short. Well, your kind of short is a different from their kind of short. So having a diagram or something visual like this is great to show your client. So your length here, one of your lengths can start off as short. Okay, and the length is going to go from the cuticle area down to the side wall to that length. So that is your short. You can also see, and it's very difficult to see on your handout, but this is short here. This is a side view. Okay, that is a short part of the nail length. Then you're going to have a client that wants medium length. That's just a tad bit longer than short. Okay. Again, my medium is different from you, your medium different from someone that works in a different industry medium. Then you're going to have your long. Some people, especially if they're a little bit more conservative, a short length for them is long. Like if they have any free edge at all, their nails growing out, they're like, oh, my nails are long. And you're like, you don't have any nails. Like this to me is long, but your itty little bitty nail tip is not long. Okay, which depends on the person, right? The older generations, they don't do the booger pickers because that wasn't popular back then. The younger generations that you don't, wash dishes and stuff like that, you're sitting around with your big old long Freddy Krueger fingers and, you love it, okay? But I bet you that you don't know how to wipe your hiney because they get in the way, honestly, right? Okay? So then you have your extra long. And that is really, really long, even for those that love the long length. Nail techs love the long nails when they do nail art and gems and applications and stuff of the sort. Why? Because it has diamonds and stickers and more nail art. And so the longer the nail, the more art you put on it, the more you can what? Charge them. Yeah. So instead of doing a client with a short nail and charging them $85 for a set, the client comes in for extra long. That's $135 in an hour. You don't get that at Walmart, right? You just don't. So long nails are good and bad. But you need to understand that not everybody. Purple to me is one color and purple to you is a different color. Like it's purple, but the shade is not the same. Okay? All right, same with length. All right, let's take a look here on this piece here. And these are the two images, they're just like underneath and side angle views. But same thing. So let's look at this chart here. Here you have from number 1 to number 13, and you have all of the different shapes. But you have regular size in nail tip applications, right? Because if you're doing, we've talked about a natural nail does not support a stiletto very well, or a coffin or a ballerina, because natural nails are flimsy, they bend, and they don't always grow evenly, and they break, so typically not, when we did nail shapes, we went over those details. But regular application, you have here your short nails, regular length. Then you have your long nails, and then you have your extra long. You have to also know the anatomy of the person's hand. So, what's your hand? If you have a client, right, that has short, stubby fingers, and they want a regular number 1, a stiletto, that might not be the right shape. Maybe even the right size. Maybe the length, okay, but the shape, because it's going to look like they have little cat claws, right? Because the fingers are short and they're stubby. So maybe let's make the fingernails longer to elongate your fingers so you look not short and stubby, but maybe stubby but long. Does that make sense? Okay. Maybe your client is super tall and super skinny chicken fingers. Don't tell them you have chicken fingers. I'm just describing it so you can get an idea. But they have long, skinny fingers. And they come in and they're like, ooh, I want the extra long number 11 stiletto. If you have long, skinny fingers and you put the extra long, you're going to look like Edward Scissorhands, right? Because it's just like, it's just long. And it doesn't look appealing on the client. So yes, sometimes client wants things and you're just like, okay, whatever the client wants. But as a professional, you need to also have that communication and relationship with your client to say, you know what, you have beautiful long model fingers. I know you want the number 11 extra long, but would really make your fingers look really nice is if we do the number 6 long. The reason being is because your fingers are just beautiful and long, but if we put that extra long, it's just going to make them too long. It's going to make them look just out there. And don't tell me you have Freddy Krueger fingers or you have chicken. You don't say those words. I'm just telling you so you get an idea. But it's all how you romance what you are telling your client. And they're, oh yeah, you know what? I never thought about it. Okay, and add some diamonds to it, right? Because yeah, some do get mad, so you just have to romance it. You have to kindly talk to them and suggest it to them, right? Okay. And then also having some pictures, some images are always a good idea to have at your station. And if you don't have the pictures, maybe you have like a little palette and say, okay, this is long, this is short, this is, and so they're like, oh yeah, because a visual is better. Because when they just tell you again, your number 6 and my number 6 are not the same. Okay. So that's that. All right, so on this one, all we have is just that we have our regular, our long, and our extra long nails. And our regular number 1, which is our stiletto, is still a stiletto at number 11, but they look very different. The shape is the same, but the length is what makes it look very different. Okay. When you reverse it, you have your model that has long, beautiful, skinny, slim fingers, and you put a number 1 stiletto, that might not look as pleasing. Maybe we need to go with the number 6, make it match. If you have your short, stubby client that's coming in with the short, stubby not short, stubby client, your client coming with the short, stubby fingers, and she wants the extra long stiletto, it kind of doesn't go, right? So you need to find the in-between. What looks best, professional opinion, what looks best on your client. But in order to do that, you need to know what all these things look like on different people, which is why when you practice on any and everybody that you can, so you can learn everybody's different nail size, nail beds, different anatomy of the hand, what they look, what shape looks good on what hand figure. But if you don't practice on different people, if you practice on the same person all the time, you're not going to know. You're not going to have that experience. Okay? If I taught only freshmen, then that's all I know. But I've taught juniors, seniors, sophomores, and freshmen, so throw anything at me and I can teach it to you. Right? So don't pigeonhole yourself to just one type of client. Okay? You wanna make money, you learn it all. All right. So let's go down to this chart right here. Okay? We have our nail width. Now, in America, we don't have the same measuring scale as the rest of the world. We measure in centimeters. This is millimeters. We're going to read it in millimeters, but when we do ours is going to be in centimeters. Okay, because if you notice your ruler, it doesn't have millimeters, it's centimeters. Okay, so, all right, so here we have our width. So our width is going to be how wide the nail is at its widest point. So that would be from the side wall on the right and side wall on the left. That is going to be the width of your nail. This particular one is the nail tip size 0. The smaller the size of the nail tip, the bigger the size of the nail tip is. So it's opposites. Little number, big wide nail tip. Big number, teeny tiny little nail. Toenails, people, those little people that have I'm not speaking from personal experience, but you know those people that have little chicken nugget, little tater tot for toes. Okay. Sometimes our little toenail is like you can't see it, and you're painting the skin, right? No judging, don't laugh, right? Okay. You'll have those clients, and the nail is like little rectangle. They want a nail, so they put an artificial nail tip. The toenail tips that they do sell, which when we get to pedicures you'll use them, is not the same as a fingernail tip because anatomy is not the same. A shape isn't the same. So know that there is a smaller, and the toenail tip smaller than the pinky nail on a hand. They do sell them, okay? And you'll get to use them later. But the bigger the number, the smaller, thinner the nail. When I say smaller, I mean like skinny ones, right? So in a size 0, the width of the nail for like a thumb, right? That's a 19 millimeter. Take your ruler and put it the number 1 centimeter on the edge and go to the opposite side edge, and that's 1 centimeter and 1, 2, 3 tick marks. So you're going to take your ruler, okay, and the rulers are on the top rollabout bin if you don't have a ruler. And you're going to measure out your width of your nail tip from side to side. So it's 1 centimeter on by the door. And then it's got 3 little tick marks. That's how wide that nail is. Okay, let's go to the pinky. The pinky nail from the side wall to the side wall, when you place the ruler over the top, that is 1, 5, 6 tick marks. 6 tick marks, right? So, when you're measuring, again, it's in centimeters, not in millimeters. Whatever ruler you have and whatever measuring unit it has, just use that. Okay. It's good to have a little paper ruler, and then clear rulers are a little bit better than the colored ones, so you can see through them. All right, let's take a look at our length. Our length is going to be from the cuticle area to the tippy tip of that edge. And that is going to be our length. And again, our length is determined by our client. So, the length from top to bottom, if you take your ruler, this is the 34 millimeters. But if you line it up, this is 3 centimeters and a half. Maybe a little under a half. That's how long that nail tip is. So, when you go get nails done, or you're getting doing someone's nails, you have them put their hands like this, and you're looking to make sure that the length is the same on all of them. You have them put their fingers like this, right? And you measure out to make sure that the fingers are correct, the length is correct. If you're a math person and you're incredibly particular, you pull your little paper ruler out and you measure and make sure they're all the same. Because the hardest thing is to make everything the same size from the pinky all the way to the opposite pinky. Be aware, we're not all born the same. If you look around, we're all different. Some of us have extra body parts and some of us don't have enough body parts. So some of our body parts may be a little chunkier, a little bit longer, a little bit wider, a little bit, they're different. Every finger's different. Every client is different. So even though it might be 27 millimeter or centimeter or whatever, not centimeters, a lot, a centimeter and a half or whatever in length and your pinky on your right hand, it might be slightly different on the left hand, but it looks the same. It's just maybe because I smushed my finger and it didn't grow back right, or I just was born different and my length of my nail bed is a different size. So sometimes clients have crooked fingers, okay, like what finger was it? My pointer goes curved a little bit. So when I have nails on, my finger looks extra curved because it's goes that way. So sometimes you gotta shape it or change the length so it makes it look a little bit more straight and it makes it look more even. So you gotta pay attention to the anatomy of the finger. So when we do manicuring and pedicuring next semester, we're gonna go over the bone structure and all of that, and we're gonna cover that as well. super important to understand. People think, oh, I'm just going to paint nails and stick them on. No, it's not about that. Okay? So, those are your lengths. So, let's go and turn the page. All right, here we have our chart. This is going to be a chart that is great to have. This is our nail length chart. This is again another visual just to have available to your client to show them, because I ran out of space earlier. So, okay, so how to measure. You're going to take a piece of tape, which here I colored in yellow, and you're going to place a transparent piece of tape over the nail. You are then going to press down over the nail plate and into the side wall of those grooves. Like really push it down. You're going to take a permanent marker and you're going to color in, you're going to mark where the side walls are. Or me, in my opinion, I'd color the whole top of the nail plate. Better visual. You cannot color over the skin. If you color over the skin, it's going to give you the wrong measurement. It's going to be wider than what it really is. Stay on top of the nail plate. Do not color over the skin. Here you have your tape, and you're going to put that over the ruler. Then you're going to measure between the lines and how long are those measurements. Centimeter, millimeter, it's up to you what you use. Let's go over it in a different graphic. Same thing, different graphic. You're going to take a piece of tape. It needs to be transparent. It can be solid color. Transparency is better. You're going to place it over the finger. You're going to push and tuck it in into the nail walls, and you're going to mark the right side of the nail wall and the left side of the nail wall. Stay within the nail plate. Don't color on the skin. Over the tape, on the skin. Okay. If you do, it's going to give you a bigger measurement. So when you're done and you're going to mail off the nail, Rosemary, it's not going to fit on Rosemary's fingers because I didn't do it correctly. Okay, it's got to be inside over the nail plate. You're going to remove the tape from the nail. I usually would cut off the excess pieces of tape before I remove it. I'll show you in a minute. Remove the tape. You're going to place the tape over a ruler. We're using centimeters, right? You're going to place the tape over the ruler, and then you're going to measure how wide your nails are. Okay? We're going to go back to this page right here where we talked about the nail length chart and how good it is to have it in your salon so clients can pick which size length they want. Kind of like when you're at McDonald's, I want the number 2. Okay, well, if you want the number 2 almond, it's the size 24. And they want that on all 10 nails. So, my apologies. I forgot. I had placed a blank paper on the very back of the packet so we can do this assignment, but we've already used that page, so we are just going to squeeze our information at the bottom, and I apologize. Again, couldn't find my third period. I couldn't find my third period packet, so we had to squeeze it in here, and I've already written it on this packet. So if you will just copy this to your packet. This is my custom nail chart. Is the title. I'm gonna take this off. My custom nail chart. You have your left hand. You have your right hand. Okay. Here you have P for pinky, R for ring finger, M for middle finger, P for pointer, and T for thumb. Okay. Your right hand and your left hand. Now, when you have a client, you only do this to your client one time. You put this on an index card or you put this on their client consultation form and put it in the file. You can digitally save it as well. do the form, take a picture of it, put it in their system, so anytime that you need to look up their information or they're going to order some press-on nails, you already have this done. You only do this once. You can do this to also measure out nail tip extensions, which we're going to do in 2 weeks. That way, you don't have to go through and, okay, let me look at my box, let me measure. Okay, no, you're not a size 3, let me get a size 4. No, you're not a size 4, let me get a size 5. You do it one time, the first time you see the client, and then you write down those numbers, and then you don't have to measure their nails again. You do it just once. Okay, here we go. Ready? Take your tape, take your permanent marker, take your scissors and your ruler. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece of tape. In order for you not to spend time trying to find the edge of the tape, give it a little dog ear. Fold it so that way you can always pick up easily where you left off. Cut a piece of tape, give it a little dog ear so you find it easy next time. Just give a little fold, that'd be a lot. You're going to take your tape and place it over the nail. I'm going to do my ring finger. You're going to take your opposite hand, your opposite nail, and you're going to really push that tape down into the side walls of the nail on both sides. Really push it in. Take your permanent marker, and it's best if you have like a really thin permanent marker. These big chunky ones, it's kind of hard sometimes. And you're going to make a line over the top, only over the top of the nail plate, not on the skin. Do it on the skin, it's not going to work out. Rosemary, there's some permanent markers right there left again. Oh, yeah, that one's right. My tip is that I would go ahead and color the whole cuticle area and the nail. That just for me gives me a better visual instead of just 2 little lines. But that's just me. I then am going to cut off the excess tape because I don't need all of that. Besides, I don't have a big space to work with. I'm going to pull off that tape off of my nail tip. I'm going to put it on my ruler at the 1 centimeter mark. I'm going to measure it, and it's literally 1 centimeter. So I'm going to pull that tape off. I'm going to mark down that my left pinky size is 1 centimeter, and I'm going to put my tape measurement down there. You can put it on the bottom. You can put it on the side, on the left. It's totally up to you. I'm going to put it on the bottom. So there you have, on your left hand, your pinky, my pinky. The width is 1 centimeter. And I put it right there, that tape over my document. The good thing about having this actual piece of tape is that you can pull it off, and once you file the nail tape, the nail tip, or the press-on nail, to make sure that you filed it the right size, you can take this tape and it should measure perfect right on top. And if it's not, then you know that your size is off. Okay. So what you're going to do for the rest of the class is continue for all 10 fingers to complete the size of all of the nail plates on all 10 fingers. That is what I have for you. If you have any questions, please let me know.